Wait for the camera. I'm going to have you scoot way over because I did put it into the board. Right.
You adjust it?
Friendly.
Nice, good having you.
Maybe one day.
Did you get a
I'm going to pull the mics up.
Good morning and happy 2019. Happy New Year from Boost Power Radio. This is Betsy Wiersma.
And I'm Rhonda Shea.
And you are listening to Boost Power Radio, the coolest show in the world where you plug in for uplifting ideas, insights, wonderful people from all over the world, and we do it sister style.
That's right. We do it sister style. We can't wait. We're here for you to deliver interviews on purpose, deliver choice points from new journeys, and learn something new. Be inspired and connect for your own life. This is going to be a great show today. I am so excited. Plus, everything is all about the F-U-N.
All about the fun.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm so glad, Rhonda, to be with you for 2019 after we launched this show last fall. We're having a super, super, super great time. And to get started today, we have a good time segment with Christy Bell.
Yay! And next we have Chris. Everybody's Chris today.
Yes, all Chris's all the time for 2019.
And he is here for the good news segment, and he's going to share with you some of his big ideas for 2019, all about gratitude and the magic it brings to your life.
And our third Chris of the day. I know you think we're joking, and it's not the Christmas show, although we said it should be the Christmas show. Then Christine Harris is going to talk about positive ideas. Everybody today is some kind of a coach, some kind of a mentor, and so we have everything in this, what we're calling the Big Idea Show.
The Big Idea Show. It's for you in the new year. And we'll talk a little bit about some fun New Year's resolutions.
Fun New Year's resolutions and lots of fun things to do. So we're going to get started with our good time segment. Take it away, Rhonda.
All right. Well, I am so excited to have Christy Bells here. Christy is amazing. I know her through Camp Experience. Welcome. Thank you. And we're gonna share. And Christy, I'm gonna have you speak up just a little bit there.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. We're gonna share some ideas and some information about Christy. She's really an amazing person. And the first time I met you, and we're gonna go a little bit into the background, but I'm gonna jump a little forward and say that I saw you raising money for United Way, and what a job you did. And you have done so much for our community and helped raise literally tens of thousands of dollars. And there is not enough thank you from the community to you that could possibly go ahead. Thank you. Christy is a coach, a facilitator, an author, a speaker. She lives a passionate life, and she wants to share that empowerment for you both personally and professionally. And I think passion and empowerment are probably two great things for 2019.
I like that.
Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I'd love to. So, I grew up in Kansas City, and I had all these other people. I'm a people person. I guess you call that the Midwest thing.
We are the Midwest girls.
And I didn't go to college out of high school. I went to work, and I was really successful in the business community for a period of time. And yet even though I was successful, I really decided I wanted to follow a passion. So I ended up quitting a job and going to college to become a social worker. And people thought I was pretty crazy at the time to make such a leap, but that journey was one of my heart calling, and that changed my life. And moving from education into nonprofit work, into now my own private practice and coaching and leadership development and consulting.
And so would you say that, was there a particular thing that tipped the scale that inspired you to make this change and go into working with people from being in business?
A great question. Yes, absolutely. I think I had a God calling. I think that I knew that there was something called service, and I was really a deep believer in being of service and making a difference in people's lives, and that was my heart.
What do you think of all, and I know you've done so many things, and like I said, when I first met you, it was as you raised an unbelievable amount of money.
Purse logic, actually,
with the purses.
What's in your purse?
Yeah, what's in your purse? It was great. But is there any particular project or fundraiser or something that you've done that jumps out as wow, I can just, you're real proud of yourself. I know all of it, you should be proud of yourself, but something that just kind of jumps out as, wow, I can't believe I did this.
Another great question. Yeah. I think of late, it has to be my latest passion, and that is of co-curating a TEDx Cherokee Women.
That's what I was going to say.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about TEDx? I know you're responsible for helping you with that.
Yeah. TEDx came into my world about 3-4 years ago. Daphne Michelson Janae is a dear friend. I was working with her in my practice. She was dealing with the grief of a miscarriage and came to me for support. And she was also blocked in writing her book and getting her book published. And I helped her, support her to make that leap. And in that process, we started something called a mastermind, which is really holding each other accountable to what was next. And she kind of flippantly said to me one day, "Oh, I have a TED license." I was like, "What?" What? And I said, "Well, I guess we're going to do TED Talks." And
there you go.
Out of that, our 3-year journey has been extraordinary.
When is the next one coming up?
So we will be doing 2 salons this year. You could go to TEDxCherryCreek.com. Those dates will be on there. So those are smaller events. And then we are still waiting for our license for our probably November women's event and a big event.
Well, that's great. We'll have to come back on or give us information so we can share.
Oh my gosh, it was so fantastic this year. I have to do a shout out because I was the queen of the reading committee and the name tag.
There you
And
go.
so we got to see the whole day. But
They're
what
called TED
was,
Tags.
yeah, the TED tags. I think
They are now.
yeah, see, take that TM.
There you go.
Start it in Denver, right here. I think what I love the most is the transformation of the guests. So they would come in the morning, they kind of didn't know what to expect, and all day they marinated in those positive speakers, right? And this gut-wrenching, real truth that you coach those people to do. So it's not just putting people on the stage, they have an entire journey that you and Daphna and Michael really, really help these people maximize what their impact can be. And you've launched many, many great speakers.
Yeah, and I think everyone's got a story, but sometimes they just don't know how to share it in a way that's interesting.
Yeah. And really putting women on the stage, we are so passionate about empowering the women's voice. And the TED stage is such an incredible opportunity for women to come and share their idea we're sharing, which is central to TED, and share their stories. And I don't know of a better stage to empower women to be able to do that.
That's good. Now, everybody's path is tough at some point. And actually at more than one point, usually. It's kind of an up and down journey.
Is that tough today? Is that just in today?
Yeah, not just today. Everybody's. Was there a time when your path was particularly tough and you were like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if this is going to work. I just don't know if I'm coming or going. And would you mind sharing that a little bit, what you learned from it and how you kind of pushed your way through it?
I've had many challenging times, as we all have in our lives. And I think the thing that most significantly for me is that I've chosen to take what has happened in my life and make a difference. So my philosophy is that I don't become a victim of what's happening in my life. I become an advocate for that. So some of the things I've done is when I miscarried my own child, I went to work for Bright Beginnings and I was able to be moms in the community. When I was struggling with some of my early challenges, I was in the nonprofit sector and I worked with women that were needing support, counseling and group work. And when I wanted to be a better leader, I stepped into a leadership role to empower myself to know how to do that. So an epic fail in my business when I really feel like I failed in my nonprofit place. I just was struggling. That really launched my leadership business. So
I think that's a great point. If you use those things that we have experience in, we can turn those to good. And it's been said before, not by me, but taking a mess and turning it into a message is always a great thing to do.
How do you steal that one?
And,
TM. That was a TM.
Do you have any advice for women who may have suffered a miscarriage and are still doing? I know I had 4 myself, and it was never easy. It's never easy to move forward with that, but you do. But maybe you have some advice for people because so many women today have them, whether it's very early or a little bit later. But I think particularly because of all the work people are doing. So, many times miscarriage and pregnancy getting on.
Boy, I have a whole podcast on my website so people can
tell us how they can get that. There's a lot of women listening, and I know many women that have.
Yeah, I have my own, my own journey, and then obviously work with Daphna. Daphna previously wrote a book about it, so you will have her on the show to talk about Phoenix Legacy. ChristyBells.com, and I think it's in my podcast or in my newsletter section. I can't remember exactly where it is. But there's an interview that I did about women in miscarriage.
That's good. So Christy Bells, BELZ.com. I think that might be helpful because there's a lot of women that are either in that age group or have gone through that and they still need a little bit of help to put closure on that.
And what is so significant is that we just have to talk about it. I'm so grateful that you brought this up because this is the number one thing. I just don't think we as a society understand that it is a loss. Mm-hmm. It is a loss. It's a death. And that we don't treat it like that. And we really try to sweep it under the rug because we don't know about it.
Right.
So,
yes. And Peanut's Legacy is that book for Daphne, Michelson, Janae. Peanut's Legacy is the book. and perhaps we'll list this when we do our archives on
We should. We definitely should.
Maybe just be sure that we say how to get a hold of Peanut Legacy as another resource.
And
Very,
then,
very good one.
that's great. And then one more thing. What would be your global statement to women in the world? If you get this platform, let's hear it, Chris.
Speak into the 2019 with Christy Bell.
That's right. Let's hear it.
2 years ago, I was.
Ring my bells.
2 years ago, I was introduced to this lesson, and this is my global statement. It's touched me today, and I share it with almost everybody I work with. It's called Peace Blessing, and it says, each and every day as you walk on this earth and dance in this world, you get the fortune from everywhere, because upon your creation, you have already obtained. When you were made amazing, you are amazing. And I think that is such a central statement for amazing day. We have to remember that we are very complete and perfect and amazing.
That is great. That's a great statement. Thank you for sharing that. We should put that up too. We should just put everything up that Chrissy has.
Maybe Chrissy can just come to every show.
We'll just take it all and put it up.
Okay, because she's got enough content. She could really come to every show.
I know. Oh, there we go.
The Christy Bell segment.
And
really good.
and she can talk about all the great things that she's done. And again, thank you for everything you've done in the community. It's really great.
And I really want to shout out that if you're looking for someone to be a speaker at one of your conferences, at a women's event, look at Christy Bell, because she brings such a fresh perspective and such an incredible delivery to everything she does. She's been an incredible part of Camp Experience and really touches the hearts of women. And her idea of Purse Logic, really talking about the power in the purse of women to have philanthropy as a tool, right? And she walks that talk. This isn't just like do what I say. This is what Christy does in the world. So please look at her as a speaker.
And she is dynamic when she hits that stage.
As a coach,
I mean, I'm not kidding. Coach. It's like you're just like, whoa, who is that?
And she's so intuitive that I went to her like saying, "Oh, I don't need any coaching." And 2 hours later, I had a breakthrough. But she was like, "Yeah, maybe you do. Just sit down right here." And, so she gets you, and you don't even get you. So I'm just saying. Now we get to do our first ever Ask Your Girlfriend question of the year of 2019. Yay. Oh my gosh, what could it be? So just randomly pick one
really
and then read it for our listeners and viewers and answer it.
Which would you choose? A rich sugar daddy or a poor soulmate?
Well, I'll take a rich sugar daddy.
Okay, a rich sugar daddy or a poor
I got a rich sugar daddy.
Yeah, we're all going with sugar daddy.
No
I'm keeping Bert, my husband.
Yeah.
I love my life. So
Yeah. You got both, actually.
I did.
You got a very successful, hardworking life partner and amazing soulmate.
You can tell how old somebody is when they're young. I say, I'll take the poor soul. When they get a bit older, it's like, oh, screw that. I'll take the rich sugar daddy.
I'll figure out the soulmate.
Hey, if any of them out there, come on, we're waiting.
The soulmate's optional. It's nice to have the resources. Well, it couldn't get any better to start 2019 with Christy Bells. And we just hope you'll come back as you start to prepare for your TED year. I know a lot of you out there are thinking, I want to be a TED Talk speaker. So TEDxCheerCreek.com. All right, and also we'll be sure Megan puts all those links on the archives, boostpowerradio.com. You can subscribe with any of your favorite podcast platforms and hear this interview again. And the crowd goes wild for Christy Bell.
Thank you, Christy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And then we're getting ready for our next guest.
Oh, I know, but before, how was your New Year?
Oh my gosh, it was
Christmas?
great. You know what? I went on I made a New Year's resolution, and I actually gave up 2,000 calories the other day.
What'd you do?
I burnt my brownies.
You burnt your brownies.
I couldn't eat them.
Oh,
yeah, burnt brownies.
That was a tactic
I lost
that
2,000 calories in one day.
There you go. Yes, I started, my New Year's resolution is to do art every week. And so I took an art class. And the first angel I made has a persnickety look on her face above my desk saying, like, when are you going to do art? So I made myself an angel that's kind of got a snarly look telling me, like, are you going to keep your New Year's resolution?
Well, I spent from December 24th until literally yesterday. Oh, no, actually did yesterday. In bed with the flu. Do not get it. It's horrible. Big fevers.
Not only you, man. The whole world's got that flu.
That's it. Missed all of Christmas. Of course, I didn't have to clean, didn't have to cook, didn't have to do anything. Didn't get to see my kid who was home. She was only here for 3 or 4 days and wouldn't come near me. She acted like I had the bubonic plague.
Well, but she didn't want that flu, but she did probably want you because, moms are moms.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great segue because, if I had a kid and I wanted them to be the most outstanding kid in America, which I do have a kid, but if I had a son, I would want it to be Chris Natsky.
Oh, me too.
Because if you look at what he's done in the world, it would be like the most pride. Your family must be like, there's Gandhi and there's our son Chris Natsky.
Yeah, and I'm not sure which one is better.
I think Chris has got it.
He might have it.
I think he's got it. I'm sorry, Gandhi. I'm not very good. But, Chris, you have done amazing things in the world, and we welcome you to Boost Power Radio.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
The crowd goes wild. Yeah! So in our All Chris show,
yes,
it's so good of you to show up as the Oreo cookie between the two women.
Exactly. Well, you had to have some kind of male presence here, right?
Well,
right.
We don't ever have to, but we choose.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Because you're that good.
Thank you.
So I've known Chris in a business sense. I've known him in a personal sense. And I'm not lying. You're my brother. We love each other. Chris is a 7th degree black belt.
That's right. And later he's going to break the table right with the hat.
I was told not to touch the table.
Yeah, don't,
That's
especially with those lethal weapon hands.
That's right.
We couldn't let him touch the table because he could break it.
Yeah, don't touch it.
That's how it works. He's in the top 1% of all martial arts. I mean, it's a real thing. He won the United States National Taekwondo.
Wow, easy for you to say.
Taekwondo. Okay.
I can't even say it when we do it.
In 1999, and I can't even say it, so of course I can't do it. We know that. In 1995, he left his corporate career to take over a martial arts business, and now he's got his coaching business and your 7 Qualities of Black Belt Leadership book, and he's a speaker and a coach, but here's the best part. He's got a Kindness Counts program and 250,000 documented random acts of kindness he has led all over the Denver community since 2005.
Chris, do you have an actual karate or taekwondo studio that people can sign up?
I don't, but my students do. So we have locations in both Parker and in Centennial.
Oh, I'm going to hit you up later.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what our New Year's resolution should be.
Well, I'm actually looking for some organizations like that to kind of project Camp Wapi Api, where the kids shovel snow and then they donate the money to help kids with cancer.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, so I'd love to talk to you about
that. Happen with my school.
All right, awesome. All right, let's talk about
Okay, well, I'm sorry I'm in the way here, you guys.
Oh, sorry, we just jumped in. I just couldn't help it.
Oh, sorry, we have to do a little Wapi Api business, but that's always on the agenda.
That's right.
On Boost Power Radio. Well, Chris, we welcome you to the show. And talk a little bit, so as we talked about it kind of when we were prepping you, people are listening, they're heading into a new year, and they listen to your bio, and they're like, whoa, thanks, Chris, you're done. Tell us a little bit about your path. Like, when did you wake up and decide I'm going to change the world?
Well, it's very interesting. I started martial arts at a very young age and was really inspired because I had an instructor who probably was the first man in my life that saw greatness in me and claimed it for me. He was my martial arts instructor. I grew up in a household where my father was alcoholic, so I didn't really have that male role model. And he basically claimed it for me, and I realized that he saw that in me, and one of the things I wanted to see that in others.
That's awesome.
So were you young? What part of the country?
This was in southeastern Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin.
I thought I heard a little Wisconsin in there.
And it was back in the early 70s, and I started martial arts because of the TV show Kung Fu.
Oh, wasn't that fun?
Great show, right?
David Carradine, right?
David Carradine, exactly.
Really? Grasshopper?
Yeah. And what's neat about that is there wasn't a martial arts store on every corner like there is today. I had to travel 30 miles one way to just train.
Wow.
And so, but again, he became like my father. So.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, so you started that young. And then tell us about your education, because you went where my parents said we could not afford for you to go. So you went to Northwestern University.
I did.
And when I was a college or a high school senior and had pretty good SATs, I said, hey, I heard about this school called Northwestern. And my dad said, IU, Purdue, Ball State, which were the state schools in Indiana.
Right.
So you went to Northwestern, and then you got your master's in spiritual psychology from the University of San Antonio.
That's correct.
So how did then your service martial arts path, how did that take you to your educational path?
Well, it's interesting because it's just inherent in martial arts is personal development, personal growth. And so I realized if I was going to be teaching this to others, I need to continue to grow as well. And so I really got involved, particularly in the early 2000s in my own personal development journey. And USM was something I've heard about, and it was one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
For children, it is an amazing experience. I put my daughter in martial arts. She got all the way to the brown belt, and then I was so busy at work I couldn't drive her anymore to do all that was required to get her to trouble. And the reason I did it was she was shy. And I mean, I would not even say shy, she was socially awkward. And it changed her confidence level to this day. I mean, it was one of the best things I ever did for her. We ever did for her.
Yeah. I like to say it's the ultimate equalizer. So if you have a child that's very rambunctious, very energetic, so to speak, it'll help calm them down. If you have one that's shy and introverted, it helps bring them in. So.
And does that have to start at a young age? Because I'm really curious. A friend of mine has a child that's very high-spirited. Okay, it's me. And but can she start something like that at age like 16?
Absolutely. And let me tell you this, I have awarded black belts. The most aged person I've awarded to, Leo, received his black belt was at age 77.
Wow.
So I have
And
people of all
I
different
took
ages.
martial arts with my daughter, which was kind of, it was pretty funny actually.
Sounds like a little bit of a comedy show.
But I did it for a couple of years, and it was really a great experience and self-defense.
Well, and it is the one thing that you can do with your child in activity. If you coach their soccer team, you're not on the field running with them. But when you do martial arts, you're right next to them doing it.
Really,
So any age.
Any age, absolutely. Yeah.
That's right.
So we like to ask people, so what are you excited about now? So we've gone over your bio, and you've done so much, Chris, and I know the book and the speaking is really growing and really taking off, and so tell me about what are you excited about now?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've got a number of projects that I'm working on. I've got a project in the new year, in the next month, I'm going to be rolling out an online program for coaching, so people can get in contact with me and we can do it remotely. I also have a second book that's in progress. I do a weekly blog.
Yes,
so I'm just
a
going to
very
take
good
those
weekly
and
blog.
thank you, and those will be accumulated. And then the other one, as we're speaking about young people, I'm collaborating with three other men in Denver, and we're doing a program called Uplift 10 in early March, where we're targeted toward single moms and their 2 sons.
And that is so needed.
So that's going to be on March 2nd. We're going to be doing that. Yeah. So the idea there is I'll be speaking about breakthroughs and also doing some suicide prevention. One will be talking about healthy sexuality. Another one will be talking about finances. Another one will be talking about how to be a powerful speaker. So that's going to be in Parker, actually.
That is awesome. Be sure you send us all the information.
Please do it. We'll get it in our things to do, and Megan will get it also on the website.
That is so needed today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I speak to a lot of people, and I'll go out and, particularly when I go to end of year, they're giving scholarship awards, at the end of the year for going to college, and I'll notice that there's no boys getting these awards. And it's not to say I don't want the girls, I totally do, but, and so I started probing, they're like, well, it's not cool to be smart when you're doing it.
Oh, wow.
So we as men, I believe, have a real responsibility to help role model that community.
Oh yeah, because you need to be smart. It doesn't matter what trade or what profession you do, you have to be smart.
Well,
you need a smart plumber, you need a smart carpenter,
that's right.
You need a smart doctor, you need a smart anybody.
Exactly, and we need to be able to utilize the leaders that we have in both genders, because otherwise we suffer as a society.
Right, it's a combination.
Absolutely, I agree.
Totally.
That's awesome.
So we always ask Chris, everyone, go and look at your path through life, and when was it tough and what did you learn? Because everybody, I don't know what you've experienced, but when they see Rhonda Shea and they go, oh, well, she ran Larry or Disney and she's Camp Happy Happy, but it's so easy for Rhonda. And I've been with Rhonda in all those spots, and I tell you, Rhonda's like all of us who've had those moments. So tell us about something along your path that you might have learned from and some insights our listeners can
Well, absolutely. I mean, I alluded to it before, but growing up as a child of an alcoholic was difficult. And, particularly for those that in your audience that are familiar with alcoholism, what you find is that people have specific roles, and I was the hero in the family, right? And of course, had great accomplishments, but had this whole other side that no one ever saw. And so there was this constant, push-pull going on inside. And then also the fact that I didn't have, role models like my instructor as well. So, being able to transcend that and then make choices from that, because I think when you're in that situation, you can either follow that path or you can choose a different one. And luckily I chose a different one and been able to make an impact as a result of that. But that was the first really
Now, would you say that, I think one of the reasons there's a different roles that children and other people have picked up is because the father isn't, or the mother, whoever isn't doing their full responsibility.
Right.
So they fall on different members of the family, which can create a lot of family issues.
Exactly true. And when I look back at it, there are many things that I learned from that experience and I'm very grateful for. right? Because I became the first sign today as a result of that. It's easy. Sure. Yeah.
And I'm also curious about starting your business. So you
Mm.
left corporate. So
Right.
many people we know that listen are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs, right? And they're in corporate America. So tell us a little bit about what was it that was the time where you knew that you were going to take the brave,
Sure.
step.
Well, I love sharing this story because I was taking it was a personal development course at my church, actually, where we were looking at what we were going to do with the rest of our lives. It was called On Course. And at the end, we had to go up in front of 150 people, in front of a microphone, and proclaim what we were going to do. And I went up to the microphone thinking about I was going to do the martial art thing, but not really sure. And all of a sudden, out of my mouth came, within 6 months, I'm going to be owning and operating a professional martial arts school. And as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, what did I just say, right? And I sat down, my knees are shaking, but then I realized, man, everyone heard this. I got to get working on this. And within 6 months, the school had been open.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to see it before it can happen.
Right. And in my case, speak it too, because now I really do.
That's great.
Well, I wanted to spend a little bit of time about your gratitude theory because I read your blog and anyone, please tell them how to find your blogs.
Sure.
They're so up there.
Oh, thank you. Well, if you find me on Facebook, just looking up Chris Natzke, Natzke, you can find that. And also, I know you'll have my web information later on, but if you just type in, I'll get you on my mailing list for as well. But I was pondering in 2019 an exercise that I always do, as well as I think clients do, is kind of looking at the last year and then what I want to create in the new year. And I realized that in myself and in my clients, oftentimes I'm creating from a place of I don't want to do that anymore. And I thought, wow, that's kind of a negative way of looking at it because what you focus on expands. So if I said to you, don't think about a red apple, you think about a red apple, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I thought, well, wow, if that's the case, then I want to focus on what I want. But if I really want to create more of it, I want to focus on what I already have that I'm grateful for. So that was really the genesis of it, is that we create from a place of gratitude.
And that's kind of what the principle of The Secret and some of those other books and ideas are. And it's like you kind of get what you put out in the world.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
that's
because
really a
you're
great way to look
resonating.
at it.
It's not that you necessarily attract something to you. You resonate your energy to something that will be attracted. That'll come then to you.
Right. So it's kind of what they call laws of attraction. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How can people get your book?
Well, they can find it on Amazon. It's called Black Belt Leadership. So if they go to Amazon, they can find that directly. The one I'm thinking about, the working title is going to be Mind of a Champion, weekly lessons for creating a life of power, passion, and purpose. So that's what I'm here. I'm doing it first time ever,
Okay,
folks.
you're doing it together in front of 70,000
exactly.
people.
Yeah, my intention is to have it done by June of this year. To culmination of all
One
this.
of the things I found with Taekwondo and martial arts, the little experience I had with them, but watching my daughter go through, was that as you sit there and you look at the principles of balance and this and that, those can be, they're not just principles for physical. You can apply those to mental, you can apply those to business meeting, you can apply those to anything, and the principles remain true and just and the same.
Well, you just explained my speaking and coaching practice. And that's what it is, because not everyone in their life, maybe 2% of the population of the world does martial arts, but the principles that you learn, just like you said, Rhonda, can be used by anyone. And what I do is I define that as us finding our own inner champion. It's already there. It just needs to be released.
I was kind of thinking we might need to do that.
Oh yeah,
Get in the studio. Maybe Chris
I'll
can
tell you,
take
it's
us up.
really. I should do that again. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I'm kind of looking for that here in my later 50s. My friend is in her later 50s, but I'm kind of thinking like, what is? It's not jumping around in the Zumba class anymore. Those things are not kind to me.
And I do think that the physical expression of martial arts is exactly that. It's a physical expression of what has to happen mentally.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you literally, it's not, and I speak about this too. In our society, we talk a lot about what we want to create, what we want to have, what we want to do. And most people live life from the perspective of have, do, be. When I have enough money, then I'll do what I'm doing, I'll be happy. But what you learn in martial arts, that it first starts with a sense of being. So those words get turned around. You live life from be, do, have. You come from that sense of being, you do what supports it, then you have what you want.
That's great. I can't wait to for your book to come out, your second book, and for folks go on Amazon if you're looking for Chris's book. I think it's 7 Keys to Creating a Life of Purpose and Discovering Your Inner Champion.
And I'd also shout out to Self-Defense.
Yes.
Because I met you initially through Chris, through Self-Defense and through Candace Marion and through Teresa Byrne, our very, very good friend. And I think learning self-defense is something every human being, if you're listening, figure out how to get some self-defense. I even took my little Girl Scout troop through it, and they learned to use their voice, and they used their body, and they used eyes.
Totally. Well, if I could put that hat on for just a moment, it's 80% of women who are attacked are attacked by men. And 85, and think about that. And then 85% of physical abuse starts with verbal intimidation. So what we do, what Teresa and I do in our program, is we actually help people find their voice. That's really the most important part of the course, is being able to access that voice. The physical stuff is just an offshoot of that.
So just take it from me, being prepared with self-defense and having some basic skill sets. It's not scary. It's something you can do in a day. It's available everywhere.
Right.
And it's one of the most important things I think I've ever done.
Well, I always tell my kids, if you're going to go down fighting.
There you go.
You know?
And if I may too, some people say, well, I have a positive attitude and I'm aware and I don't need self-defense training. I say, And there's also an old saying that says, trust in God but tie your camel. Right? So you still prepare yourself, because when you have that preparation, then you have more confidence.
Well, I think the big difference from somebody who's assaulting someone and someone who's being assaulted is that the person who's perpetuating the act has a plan. They have a plan. They've watched the person. They know where the person is. They've planned out what they're going to do. They have a plan, and you don't. And so that's the biggest disadvantage. If you have a plan, those odds immediately get more balanced.
And if you mess up their plan, they won't try to change it. They'll abort mission and go find another victim. Because if you take them off course, they don't know what to do.
So plan. That's the biggest thing.
Use your voice. I remember. Yell.
Use your voice.
Back off. I still think my teenager.
That would be the word I use.
Back off.
Back off. That's pretty strong, Betsy.
It's strong because if somebody comes to you and just starts to do anything weird, you yell, back off. Because, then they're going to be like, oh, who are you? And so now my daughter yells at me, back off! And I taught her in Girl Scouts with Chris, it's bad. It's bad. It's come back to haunt me and my teenager. Okay, we have 2 more quick things.
Okay, very good.
We usually just have people make a global statement. So if someone's driving in their car, they're listening on the podcast, how would you speak into their life for 2019? What would be the Chris Nadsky magic statement?
I have a real strong belief that everyone just has a gift to share. And there is that inner champion, if you will. And what I really encourage each and every one of you, in spite of where you think you are or what you think your limitations are, is listen to that voice inside. If there's something you want to do, an impact you want to make, take action on it. Because that's why you're here.
That's awesome.
The crowd's going up for that. And then this is the funny thing for men. We're going to do the Go Ask Your Girlfriend cards. And we have had doctors that are men on the show.
Very good.
They've survived.
Your husband survived.
Yeah. Doug was on the last. He was on the Christmas show, which could have been the Christmas show. The Chris show.
This is the Chris we didn't miss show.
Yeah. They all Chris. They're all show.
All right. Okay, so I just need to pick one.
And we'll see how applicable it is to be the
Very good.
So you have to, that's what you just have to read that and answer.
What is my greatest extravagance? Oh my gosh. It's interesting because of the whole discipline thing. There's not a lot of great extravagance. This is my greatest extravagance, and it's not going to sound too great, but one of the theaters here in Denver gets, when you buy your ticket, you get complimentary popcorn and soft drinks.
Yes.
So I'm a triple bagger.
Oh, there you go.
So that's my big extravagance.
You're going popcorn.
You're going popcorn guy.
You're going with the big. Yeah, that would be
it. Popcorn balls, those are wonderful.
I don't really do those,
No,
but I'll tell you what.
You
should see me with the bags. I got a whole science, and I'll get them in the theater. It's pretty
good. Well, I want to see a movie with you.
All right, good.
I'll just glom onto one of your bags. It'll be good. I'll only eat a quarter of one of your 3 bags. It'll be good. Well, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, listeners around the world, Chris Nadsky is someone who will uplift you. His books, his speaking, his blog, and his new online coaching is a good for you, because now you, anywhere in the world, can find Master Chris. And I'm very curious to continue this conversation about Camp Wapiapi and these kids, your kids, doing these acts of kindness, because we can't be on target any better than helping your kids.
Well, I thank you very much. And Chris, I'll just catch up with you with that, because we're kicking it off. It's a Snow Angel program. So anybody out there, by the way, if you're a kid and you want to do something great this winter, you can shovel walks, and instead of somebody giving you $5 or $10 for it, you can ask them to make that donation to Camp Wapiapi. We've got a whole kit online.
Nice.
about being a snow angel. You can find out about it by just sending us an email at wapiapi at wapiapi@wapiapi.org.
Easy for you to say. We forgot to ask.
WATIYAPI.
Okay, you know what we forgot to ask Chris is his name, where he grew up. He came from a place that is.
Coming back in.
Okay,
Good. Got it.
Chris, run in and tell us where you were born and tell us why we care.
Well, I was born in a small city southeast Wisconsin called Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Panama.
Oconomowoc. It's 30 miles west of Milwaukee. It is the only city in the nation with 5 O's in its name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Oconomowc.
Wow.
So
That's
you
harder
got
than
that
Wapiapi.
And it was the first city that screened The Wizard of Oz when it came out.
Oh, that's
In
really cool.
whatever the 1930s were. So there's
That
my
is
claim
so
to fame.
cool.
It's
There you
got
go.
claim to fame. Okay,
There's no
I was
place
gonna
like
try to
home.
say
There's no
that,
place like home.
and I couldn't say that. So, thank you, Chris. So I hope you got to see that, but I wanted to say that, but I couldn't say
Oh,
Oconomowoc.
but,
Yeah.
It took me a year. I had to work
Wapiapi.
for Wapiapi a year before I could say it.
I just keep saying Wapiapi instead. Just good brand recognition.
That's right. Wapiapi.
Well, I gotta tell you, Chris is one of those people I met, and I just knew that we'd be friends forever. He has spoken at Camp Experience, which is, of course, what I do in the world, my calling, and you've been such a big part of that, Rhonda. And Chris is just the real deal. He is
He
the real
really is.
deal.
He's great.
And his teaching is so solid. And so I really think it's really on my heart to maybe look into martial arts a little bit.
We should do it. It's fun. I've done
think
that.
it'd be fun for you and I to do
went up
together.
a couple of belt levels, not too far, I think red or something.
Yeah. But I like the fashion of the belt, so I have a lot of belts at home. So maybe I could just show up in the belt of my choice.
You have a
I think that's-
gi. Yeah,
I have one.
Okay.
Because we did a skit with Chris,
Oh,
and I
that's right.
own 5 gis.
Oh,
So
there we
now
go.
I
We got
have
the
my own
gi.
belt. I'm a gi haver, but I only have decorative belts. And speaking of fashion, our next guest is the best dressed woman I know in
Yeah,
Denver.
yes, she
As a
is.
matter of fact, I want her to take off her jean jacket today and accidentally leave it on the chair.
Well, that would be
Because
cool.
I would like to
But
take
I
it
want
home.
Rhonda's jacket.
Oh, my jacket.
Then she's
yeah.
going to take Rhonda's leather
I
jacket.
should bring my
And then what do
jacket
you
in.
get?
Actually.
I get nothing. Okay, I get nothing. But no, I'm going to take your jacket, so I'm going to do the winner.
I'll come to your closet and we'll swap jackets.
Okay.
That was what people should do with jean jackets. About every couple of years, just swap them with a friend and then swap them back.
I'll tell you, we still might have to do the jean jacket thing anyway. But so Christine Harris, I'm going to let Rhonda interview her, but I want to do a shout out because Christine is part of the Camp Experience Network. She's one of our new sponsors, and people that have a heart for helping women and come and not only say, yeah, I'm going to come and take, but really give. That's really superstar. So we want to welcome you to Boost Power Radio today.
Thank you. This is awesome. This is so fun. I'm still a little nervous about the microphone thing.
Oh, you're going to be fine.
Go at the table, talk loud, you're in.
Okay.
We're going to
That's
talk
it.
about a couple of things, but you and I have something in common because I did ride, I don't have one right now, but from the time I was 11 years old until all my life, I rode dirt bikes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you and I have a little bit of motorcycling in common.
Well, tell them what Santa brought you.
Santa
Christine.
bought me a brand new KTM 350
Oh.
enduro bike.
I love
In fact,
enduros.
I have like 2 minutes to talk to you because I'm gonna go ride because it's gonna be 60 degrees today, so we gotta
Oh,
Go fast.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
fast.
okay, we'll go
We gotta leave and go fast.
you're going to go really fast. So anyway, what we want to do, Christine, is talk a little bit about, I know your topic is embodying your greatness and 3x5 tools.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that really quickly and a little bit about your background.
Well, I'll lead in with it about my background. I've been an athlete all my life. I was a swimmer, a runner, a bicyclist, a triathlete, field hockey in college, and a bicycle racer here in Colorado, and most recently a motorcycle rider. And all throughout, and I'm also a massage therapist. So all through all of this body stuff, I just became fascinated with, well, we're in a body, but we also have our soul and our spirit and our mind. And they're all connected, and how can I use all that fun knowledge of doing all this stuff all these years to help people? And so I just love when I talk to people talking about living in your body. What do you feel in your body, and what is you, your beautiful being, calling to you to do?
Well, that's great. That's sometimes we forget about that. We don't stop and take a minute and go. We just do it. We're just out doing everything, or we're doing for other people. We're taking our kids and doing this, and sign up for this because the family wants to do it, or whatever.
Kind of what Chris just talked about, that
Yeah.
me first, right?
Yeah.
That's
Right. Yeah,
Me
just
doing
that.
that. Yeah, I thought that was really on purpose with you.
Now you're into meditation.
Yes. Yeah. I used to do my meditation on my bicycle or when I was home. I would just do my affirmations and my gratitude and
look at the stars or the snow or the mountains and just be grateful for all of that. And when, if you're doing anything, you get into a room, you get into that clear open space, and you can do that motorcycling, bicycling, swimming, sitting and meditating.
I do that in the mountains, skiing or hiking or snowshoeing, and especially the winter sports. I get up there and it's so pristine, and your mind clears, your body settles, and it's just, you're like one with nature.
Exactly. So what about those of us, friends of mine, me,
not anybody we know in this room.
Not anybody we know, my friend. What about those people though that always say, "Oh, meditation's so hard, I don't know how to do it." Can you tell us a little bit about how like a beginner's mind is, or just taking the first step? What is meditation anyway?
Meditation is just focusing. We just mentioned 10 different ways to focus. And it's not about beating yourself up to try to clear your mind to have no thoughts. That's impossible.
Yeah, really.
So it's sort of like your toddler, right? They're doing something and you keep reading. Oh, come over here because we can't go get that 10 cookie. So you just tell your mind, oh, I'm going to sit and be quiet. I'm going to put my hands up my heart and I'm just going to appreciate my breath. Breathe in, breathe out. And then you start thinking, I'm going to the grocery store, and you have to get 3, and then you go, oh, okay, well, sweet line, connected. I'm just going to breathe in, breathe out. It's gentle, loving redirection to focus and be calm. And it's practice. That's why they call it practice. It's not about you're going to master
it. It really does take a lot of practice, I think, to calm your mind in today's world.
It does. And that's why it's so important, even more so today, to take some time out, turn your phone off, turn the TV off, turn the music off, to listen to you, because what's inside you is the most important thing. And when we can calm ourselves, how will we do that? There's so many beautiful things that come out of our inner being that direct us to this next great year, since we're talking about 2019.
So I think I do meditate because I do my art.
Yes,
perfect,
and
right?
that's a way
that's
to
where I'm
focus and forget the world around you and just do it.
Yeah, because you're meditating, you're creating, you're not just sitting down and going, I'm going to create this. No, I'm guessing. You sit down and it comes through.
Exactly. Oh, yay! I'm a meditator. Yes.
There you go. So you did it.
It's a breakthrough for 2019. So tell people, too, about your life. So what was your education and how did that bring you to coaching practice and what you're doing today?
I, as I said, was an athlete. I studied biology. I've always been fascinated with the body and how it works, and ecology, nature. So everything is a system, right?
Right.
And I became fascinated with healing. How does our body heal? How does our mind heal? How does our spirit heal? And I became a massage therapist because I just loved helping people feel better. But then I noticed when I was doing massage, I might be working on somebody's back, and occasionally they would start crying. Like, what is up with that? So our body and our mind and our spirit are not separate, right? We hold things. You see people walking around with their shoulders up, and you think, what do you think when you see them? You think they're relaxed, they're untight, right? So our body is an expression of our perception and our being. So we can look at looking in any way. We can access the body through what you're thinking, what you're dreaming, what you're speaking. There's all kinds of ways to get to where you want to go next.
And that's great. What were some of the choice points in your life? Like you're going along, you're an athlete, or you're having a business or whatever, and all of a sudden something hits you. It's like, this isn't working, or I think I can do this and it'd be great. What was one of the choice points of your life? What did you do when you came to that pivotal part of your journey?
I was in massage school, and in massage school, like many other professional trainers, you have experts in their area of massage that can really do a demonstration. Because in your massage school, you want to be the one that they work on, right? Mm-hmm. So I jumped up and, come demonstrate on me. So we did some work on me and on my back and some breath work, and all of a sudden I was sobbing.
Wow.
And I'm going, wait, I'm supposed to be relaxing. So that set me up in my tracks when I first started. I need to find out what this is. Why did this happen? It's not just massage. Mm-hmm. And so then I went and got my master's degree. I went and studied a form of body mind psychotherapy, engaged with and bioenergetics.
That's interesting. Bioenergetics.
Tell us more about bioenergetics.
So bioenergetics is just one of the schools or the thinking ways of body mind psychotherapy. When we talk to somebody, or when I talk to somebody in my office, I'm not just talking to them. You might be moving, you might be breathing, and I might say, hey, Wanda, what is your leg doing if your leg's bouncing up and down? Her leg's saying something. She might be sitting there with her shoulders really up. With your shoulders. You
might do some gentle movement around helping you be embodied, be in your body, and understand what's going on with you together.
Well, that's good, because I always thought psychotherapy was like you found your the psycho in your family and beat the hell out of him with a wet noodle.
Well, that happens too. We don't talk about
That's
that.
psychotherapy. Come over here. No, I'm kidding.
Rhonda. She was kidding to all you out there. She will not beat anyone.
I
She will
might.
not beat anyone with the red.
Wet noodle? I might.
Only with wet noodles, not dry. Don't worry about the dry
But
noodles.
that's really cool, because that connection is so important. And I think you're right. If you look at, I know when I'm processing things, I move a lot.
Yes, exactly. Our bodies move naturally, and when we're talking about something that happened that was traumatic or really heavy, your body has an impulse to move. And so I noticed that. Really? You just moved forward in your chair. What was that? You were telling me about this. Let's do a little more of that.
Wow. So that's a lot of intuitiveness on your part and a lot of high noticing, I would think.
Yeah, and people have told me that, and it's not something I really knew. It's just, I do this because I'm so kinesthetic that I just see what's happening. And that's a whole conversation. We're having a conversation, but I'm also noticing your body and how you're expressing or how you're not expressing. So that's the real conversation.
That's the underlying meaning of the
That's what
conversation.
I'm looking for. I'm talking to you, but I'm also watching what your body's doing. or
She's
not
actually evaluating you right now.
Well, I'm always looking forward because I can't read. The screen.
So blindness causes
Blindness.
Rhonda to also move her
I'm always
body.
sitting like this.
She has to be closer to the type.
Oh my God.
So, but also, Kathy would call it like tongue. She watches
Exactly.
what brings energy versus what drains.
Right.
And-
So are you moving in a way that you're being drained, lights off, or are you moving in a way that's animated and vibrant and alive? When you meet somebody, you know whether they're alive. They're
Right. You can feel that.
You can
We can
feel
feel that
that,
energy,
exactly.
like that force of nature that lives within us.
Are you talking about me again?
That's right. That's
That force of nature.
You're a force of
Well,
nature.
I want to ask this question because I want to lead her to one answer that I really love, and then you can say something else. But was there a time in your life that you did something scary, maybe last summer, and what
Yeah.
did you learn? Because I happen to know this answer.
Yeah, that's a leading question.
That was very leading. I leaned into it too. I did the body language.
So I was on a motorcycle trip over Colorado backcountry Discovery Route with 15 amazing women,
That sounds wonderful.
riding
Pat
dirt
Jakes,
bikes,
Pat,
yes, ATV women, and we were riding these mountains, not just like little hills. These are big mountain passes with big freaking boulders. We're riding on a motorcycle. So we're riding and we're training, doing easy stuff, and then we get to the tough stuff, and we're going to go climb Hagerman's Peak. I'm like, oh great, and all of a sudden I'm going straight up on a motorcycle that I just recently bought, and I am scared to death. I am shaking. Now here's the thing about doing that. You can't just stop and go, this is scary and I'm going to quit because
Well, no, you can't.
No, you have to keep going. And I'm like, okay, God, just help me get through this. Help me get through this. And I just keep going. And I got to the top, and all the other women are standing there like, yay, Christine. I parked my bike, and I just fell over and started crying because I did it. I did it.
Wow.
And I was shaking, and I couldn't breathe, and I was sweating, and
It takes a
You
lot.
are actually redoing it.
Yeah, I am.
It's coming back.
And people don't realize it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of timing and a lot of athletic ability to ride a dirt bike. It is not like and focus. You have to be completely focused on that trail, what your bike's going to do. You have to become one with that machine. And, and it can be very grueling. Like I said, I actually raced motocross for a while and did all kinds of stuff. And it truly is one of the most incredible experiences. My husband, many years ago, I had a horse and I had a dirt bike, and he said, you can only have one thing that'll kill you. And I should have got rid of him, but he kept a horse.
You didn't know he was in that game.
No. But instead, but I did get rid of the dirt bike and kept the horse, which was a mistake. I was regretting it.
Well, you can go back to your dirt bike path.
I've been thinking about
Christine,
it.
I have an extra one now for sale, so I'll come over and we'll
Right.
Some fun. Some fun. And it truly is a great thing. But I can see when you're going up some of those peaks, and I mean, you're like this. If you fall, you're going down that mountain. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. And that bike's on top of you.
If you turn the corner too fast, you're going over the edge.
Yep.
Well, so then you're thinking, if I want a coach to really help me, that will get me through my fears, and then you can see Christine here.
She's done it.
The real deal, because not only can she help you move into something that's new, but she has conquered fear herself, and she'd be a perfect person to help her with you. So tell them how to get a hold of you.
And tell them to get a hold of you, and then we're going to ask you for the drill.
Awesome.
just go to my website, cjoyharris.com.
Say it again, slow.
The letter C, J-O-I, and the name Joy. So I'm living up to that in 2002.
There you go.
Embodying Joy, cjoyharris.com.
Great.
We will have that again on BoostPowerRadio.com under the archives that you can subscribe with your favorite podcast app.
That's right. And then we
And
need
then
to get,
say that.
what is your global statement to women in the world? What would you just
Speak into the girls for 2019
Speak to the girls.
and to the men.
You have come here to do something amazing and to give a gift to the world, and you need your gift. And go and find it, go into your heart, and discover it, live it, be it, and do it, because we need awesome women who are living their lives and living here to heal and love and create goodness and light and happiness in the world.
That is great. That's a perfect
I
statement.
will take that challenge.
Okay,
And I get to
there
give
you
you your card.
Girlfriend card, here you go.
If I don't like them,
You'll be fine.
You can
But
change
you
if you
can
want.
change it.
Oh, sweet. If you found a genie in a bottle, what 3 wishes would you ask for? Well, I would ask for 3 more wishes, of course.
That's what we say, right?
I know.
But what I would really ask for is that every child has someone to love and help them, and that all of us have something to eat, and all of us have a home to live in where we live.
That is
Wow, I'm going to
perfect.
cry for 2019
That's
our first show.
And that shows you the kind of person that our friends are.
Our all Chris all the time did not let you down. Let's say the practice clap for Christine Harris.
Yes, Christine.
Woo! Yay!
Thank you so
We might
much.
have to have you back, so just stay tuned. You did a great job.
But
I mean, you're all
can I
never
go-
gonna get it.
You can go ride your
my
bike now.
and then I'll come back
You
later.
can ride
can
your
go ride your
Okay,
bike.
and do that safely.
Have fun.
And report back in.
All right. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Wow, the all Chris thing worked.
I know it did, didn't it? And these were great guests.
See?
Yeah.
That's what
It was like,
happens.
instead of Chris squared, it was Chris, what did you call that? Chris triple?
Yeah.
Or
Chris
triple play.
3X.
Triple play. Chris triple play.
Try X. But, you know, what I really like today, to kind of recap, let's do our reflections.
Oh.
Let's do
We haven't done that one from there.
reflections, because I forgot the marijuana. Reflections. Which I love this old antique mirror. Saw me.
I don't want to look at me. That's too close.
Reflection.
The mirrors like this are too close, and you see all the cracks. Oh, shoot.
We earned them. So my reflection is going to be every single one of those people never heard each other's statement, and they all said,
Oh, they
the same
really
thing,
did. They all said
right?
about leaning into your life and being the person you're meant to be inside, and finding that oneness with whatever, whatever greatness and whatever power that you believe in is greater than you.
yeah, I'm still the whole Chris Natsky be, do, get,
I love that.
right?
Mhm.
That's really, I think that's really what I'm going to take on for 2019. I'm going to add that to my thought because I really believe this. Martial arts being on the show today is no accident for maybe many of us.
I think we should do it. And you know what I think? Every one of our guests talked about service. It was really about service to others, not really about them. The things in their choice point, the things that made them choose the path they did, were their desire to help others in our community to learn and to grow and to heal. And that was a common theme with our guests, and that resonated with me because we need more people in this world, and most of our guests are that way. They're very, I think they reach out. They're very
Yeah,
supportive.
they're very low ego too. Like Chrissy Bell acts like, just a normal person.
Yeah, and she's not.
Oh,
She's not.
Okay, so she's like the philanthropy behind everything
Oh,
in
yeah.
Denver, and she is that quiet giant, right?
Oh yeah,
She
I mean,
is
she's great.
just,
And she raises tens of thousands of dollars every single year. You never hear her talk about it or brag about it. It's all about the other people and the people that support those organizations. It's never about her.
Right, and she did this thing, First Logic, and really helped us know that women can speak with their donations, what we call it, the power in the purse. So as you're thinking this year, what to do, we would definitely suggest get a hold of Camp Wapi Api because so many people can just plug in and help you, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's a great way for service.
And in fact, I will do what I should never ever do, but I'm gonna do it anyway on radio. And that is, if you really want to find out about Camp Wapi Api, you can. Here's my email. It's Rhonda RHOND at wapiapi WAPIYAPI.org. You've got a kid that wants to be part of the shoveling program. If you want to help send a kid to camp this summer, the children that we deal with are children that are facing pediatric cancer and their siblings. It's a free camp for them and their brothers and sisters. Of course, it's not free. We have to pay for it somehow. But and that's where we have all kinds of programs, golf tournaments, things coming up. So in the new year, so if you're interested, if you have a business and you want a partner, and we can find a way to get you some great exposure as well as help a kid, just shoot me an email and I'll get right back.
And that might be a thing for 2019 for you to incorporate some service into your life because that's what we heard today from Chris, and Chris. Christine, and Chris.
There we go.
The three Chris's all said do something. So in the camp experience, our theme this year is do good, have fun.
That's right. Do good, have fun.
So let's do our quote, and then at the end we'll do the
Or do bad and be miserable. That's the that's the opposite.
do bad and get in trouble. But let's just do good and have fun. So what's our quote to start the new year?
Women are always beautiful.
Women are always beautiful. Helen Keller.
There you go again. Betsy is this.
I always say Helen
She
Keller,
always
but
says
I
Helen
actually gave Rhonda a Helen Keller bracelet and my grand for Christmas. I'm
That's
saying with
right.
the Helen
I
Keller
know,
quote.
I loved it. It's not, if you pronounce it correctly in Spanish, this is Via Valo. But I'm not sure they might say Via.
But we're going to say Betsy and Rhonda say women
Yeah.
are always beautiful because we believe we are. And we hope that you tune in to our next show because we're going to have Lynette Hayes, and she's an iron woman.
Look at this one. There's two in here.
Oh, what was the
I'm
second
going to
one?
read this one.
Okay.
This is, you know, it's amazing how these quotes fit the show. What is done in love is done well. What is done in love is done well.
Wow.
By one of my very favorite people ever.
Helen Keller.
No, Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh, I love Vincent Van
Oh, I
Gogh.
love Van Gogh.
Oh gosh, I went to that museum in Amsterdam.
Isn't that beautiful?
So I'm going to talk about the next show, then we're going to talk really quickly about things to do in Colorado. So right now, the next show, we have Lynette Hayes. She's an iron woman,
Ooh,
right? So it's an
iron.
Iron Man, but I always think it's weird they call it Iron Man because like she's a woman, so it's an Iron Man.
She's an iron woman.
And so she does these a lot of
She
physical
doesn't, that doesn't mean
activity.
she irons, right?
No,
Because
I don't-
that would suck. Who'd like to be an iron
No.
woman?
I would like to not be a not Iron Woman. That'd be me. But she's a great athlete, but also she really helps women get their financial kind of plan together, which is so important to fuel all of our dreams. Also, too, we have Jessica back from Goodwill,
And she's
Denver.
going to be great. I know Jessica's coming back from Goodwill, and she's always doing good.
Okay,
That's
and
why it's called Goodwill.
I look so cute because of the dresses of Marla Smith. So Styles by Marla Smith. And I'm just going to tell you, she is not only a consultant about your image and your wardrobe, but she's about feng shui and energy and how it all plays together. And she's a blast.
I can't wait to talk about feng shui because I don't get that, and I think it'd be kind of cool. But
You can feng shui your house.
feng shui you.
Yeah, feng shui. It's like Feng Shui University, Feng Shui You with Marla Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
Elements of
It's
style.
you, feng shui you.
Yeah, that's on your afternoon show. So we're really excited about that. And so also too, we want to talk about fun things around town. We're back into the camp experience year.
Yes.
So we have Camp Connections, which is free business building networking groups all over town. And also we have a couple fun classes coming up. My art the art behind your new life. We're calling it Head, Heart, Hands. And it's January 12th, and it's a workshop, and you get the wonderful 2019 planner.
That planner is great. I started using it, and it is amazing.
Okay, I'll let Henry do a close up on the planner.
Just keep holding it and smiling. This is the way I hold my book.
On the planner. So use the planner, come to the class. There's some other classes later in the month.
And let's see, we have Life on Purpose Success Workshops, January 12th. There's January 17th, which is New York Life is doing visioning board.
Making.
Mhm,
We've
that's
got a
really
shopping night. So many fun things.
Shopping night's coming up January 25th. I think that's another Business and Life Success Workshop. And so there's all kinds of great activities. Many are free, some cost us a little bit. Go on Camp Experience Network, campexperience.com.
And tune into Boost Power Radio in 2
Boost Power
weeks.
Radio.
We will see you here.
See you here. Have a great New Year, everyone.
Happy
Thank you for
2019.
sharing some time with us today. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just kind of like I get mixed up. I don't want to uncheck until we have the right. And then let me just turn this off.